We're gonna go over Unit 5 or Chapter 7, similar triangle practice test. Um, and I will go as fast as I can. Hopefully, this will help you to get yourself ready. Your test will be Monday and Tuesday, the 14 and 15, I believe. So number one, all right, so in this triangle, if triangle XYZ is similar triangle to XLM, then what is true? So what they're saying is the bigger triangle is going to be similar to the smaller triangle, which is XLM. What is true about the ratio, what they gave you? So the first one is XM. So they're saying XM over XZ is going to equal to XL over XY. And that is a proportional part, similar to triangles, then that is true. But I'm going to show you something that is not true. So the next one they gave you, let me erase this so that we can easily see it. Says XM over XZ. So we start from the small to the big. Then the next one says XY. So see how this one starts from the big? So that's why it cannot be the same, because if you start from smaller triangle over big triangle, then the next ratio also have to be small triangle versus big triangle. All right, number two says when standing upright, Gary knows his eyes are 6 feet above the ground to determine the depth of the well. He stands in a position shown, so you can see that his height is 6 feet and he is 2 feet away from the well. Using the given information, how deep is the well? So I'm trying to find, I know the length from here to here, but the question is how deep is the well? So that's what I'm trying to find x. So you can set up the ratio different ways. One way would be the height of the Gary. So I can say HG and H well, the height of the well, over the base of Gary over the base of the well. That's another way I can do it. Or you can do with height over base, which is the height of the person over the base, which is 6. Then you can do x over 6. But if we continue with what I started, it's going to be 6 over x. We don't know the height of the well, but I know the base of Gary is 2 feet and the base of the well is 6 feet. Then all you have to do is cross multiply and find the answer. Number 3. So given AXY, which is this angle, is congruent to ABC, and then they told you AY X is congruent to ACB. This is congruent. So based on this, you can tell that the two triangles, the smaller and the bigger triangles, are going to be proportional. Then they're asking you which is true about this proportional part. So it's important that you really pay attention to each of them. So the first one is AX smaller over AB bigger. So they're on the same side. Then they said AY smaller over AC big. That's correct. And the last one they say XY small base over BC bigger base, which is correct. Then you can look at the next one. I mean, you can pick that and move on, but if you just want to make sure, you can check B, C, and D to make sure that the rest of them are not uh, proportional. AX, so they went from AX, then they do XB, which is perfectly fine. AY over YC, then they said XY, which is this side, to this side. So this is not going to be congruent. This too can be proportional because once I know the corresponding angles are congruent, that end up being parallel, so it cuts the proportional parts. But when it comes to the base is the parallel line. So they are not going to be proportional with the rest of them. So I can't pick that one. So that's the reason that I can't pick B or the rest of them. I think all of them has BY over X Y, BC over XY. All right, number 4, same kind of question. I think you guys can figure this one out. So I'm gonna skip number 4. Number 5, same kind of question. All right, R and U are congruent, and you know the vertical angles are gonna be congruent. So there's something you have to be careful because whenever it's the bow tie problem, you have to know which of the two sides are going to be proportional. So in this case, since this angle is congruent to this angle, the side that's going to be proportional would be this two. It's going to be proportional to each other, and then these two would be proportional to each other. That's something you have to make sure you remember. If the angle was R and S, then it would have been the other two sides. So it says RT TX. So it says first one is RT. So let me use a different um, color. So it says RT to US is proportional to TX with X SX, which is true. So that's the one we pick. If you look at the next one, it says RX, the red one, with UX with the red one, then it says RT, blue with green. That doesn't match, right? So that's not going to be true. So if you continue to go down, you can kind of tell that they're not going to be proportional. Number 6, triangle ABC and DEF are similar. What is the measure of angle E? If you guys remember, when we talk about similar triangles, the angles are going to be congruent. A and D going to have the same measurement. B and E and C and F are going to have the same measurement. So in this case, A is 40, so D is going to be 40. B we don't know, but we know C is 30, so F is going to be 30, right? So all you have to do is find E by doing 40 plus 30 plus angle E is going to equal to 180 because it's a triangle. Then you guys can solve it like that. All right, number 7. All right, so this one is going to be a lengthy problem. So what I will do is I'm going to pause the video. Once I set it up, I'm going to pause it so that I can finish the whole thing. And you guys can determine if it's going to be proportional or not. The process is you have to find the ratio of, so to get you started, knowing that these two triangles are similar, I know BI over HA is going to be congruent to IG over AT, congruent to BG over HT. So they all have to be proportional to each other. But I don't know what B. I know in the choice that they gave me HA, HT, and AT is given, right? But I don't know what is BI. So I have to find the length of BI, and I have to find the length of IG, and I have to find the length of BG. So to find out, so I guess let me do the first one. I'm going to find the length of BI using the distance formula. I'm sure by now everybody should know it. It's x2 minus x1. So I'm trying to find the length of BI. So it's going to be 1 minus 6 squared plus 3 minus 1 squared. Then is equals to 1 minus 6 is negative 5. Negative 5 squared is 25. That's something you have to be careful because negative 5 times negative 5 is going to give you positive 25. 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 squared is going to be 4. So this is going to give you 25 plus 4 is going to give you square root of 29. Okay. Um, then I have to do the simplifying radicals. All right. So in this case, square root of 29 cannot be simplified, right? So BI is going to be square root of 29. So I'm just going to leave it like that. Then I need to do the next one, which is IG. So IG is the square root of I to G. So it's going to be 3 minus 1 squared plus 4 minus 3 squared. In this case, I will get 3 minus 1 is 2, 2 squared is 4, plus 4 minus 3 is 1, right? It's 4 minus 3, yeah. 1 squared is going to be 1. So this is square root of 5. So this is also cannot be simplified, right? IG. So just leave it like that. Then the last one is, I might as well do the whole thing, BG. So I'll just do it here so that I don't have to go up and down. BG is the square root of B to G. So it's going to be 3 minus 6 squared plus 4 minus 1 square. All right, so this would give us the square root of 18. The square root of 18 can be simplified. This is 9 times 2, right? That means 9 is a perfect square that can come out as 3, then square root of 2 will stay inside. So that's how you can simplify it. So if you guys remember what I did here, this is the main thing, BI over HA, IG over AT, BG over HT. And now we found each one of them. We know what BG is, we know what IG is, and we know BI. So what we need to do is look through the choices. So I have a 29, a 5, and a 3, and square root of 2. So you knew it A and B would not work, right? Because none of them has the 5 or the 29. So it's going to be between C and D. And to determine between the two, you have to look at my ratio. So BI is 29, the square root of 29, right? Over HA need to have square root of 29. So HA for C is 2 to the square root of 9. 2 square root of 29. So they can simplify and you're going to end up with 1/2. The same thing with IG is square root of 5. So AT need to be 2 to the square root of 5. So this is going to be 2 to the square root of 5. So this cancel out, you end up with 1/2. And the last one is BG. For BG, I got 3 square root of 2. And the other one is 6 square root of 2. So the square root of 2 would cancel out. 3 over 2 gives you 1/2. Now you got the right answer. So yeah, I know it takes a little bit longer than the other problems, but this is a good way to practice your distance formula. So make sure you're doing it. There will be one question like this on your test. And the diagram below, which value of x is going to prove that PQR is similar to MNO. So remember, the sides need to be proportional. So the way I'm going to do it is PQ is going to be proportional to LM, right? LM. So I'm going to color code them. And QR going to be proportional to MN. And the last one is PR is going to be proportional to ln. So I don't need to solve for all of them. I just need to solve for x. So I can see the scale factor is going to be 6 over 10, which can be simplified as 3 over 5. So I'm going to use that. And I can use the blue one, which is 2x plus 1 over 3x plus 5. And all you have to do is just cross multiply it, and so that you guys can solve. When you cross multiply, I'm going to do one more step. The 3 is going to multiply, so I'm color coding it so that you guys can kind of have an idea. So the 3 is going to multiply 3x plus 5, and the 5 is going to multiply 2x plus 1. So make sure you're distributing the 3 and the 5, so you're going to end up with 9x plus 15 equals 10x plus 5. Then after this, you can go ahead and solve for the variable. I'm sure you guys can do that without no problem. All right, number 9 is the same kind of problem, so go ahead, do it and solve for x. You might end up with a fraction, which is perfectly fine. Make sure you are always labeling the proportional part. LM is with AB, so this one is not. So LM, see, AB is with 15. That's your scale factor. Then you have to do the next one, uh, which is BC with MN. So BC, MN are going to be the same. So MN and BC. So cross multiply and solve for x. All right, number 10. Again, it's a proportional parts. JKL is similar to RST. And then what is true? Follow this um, um, statement. So it says JK with RS, that's the first one, is going to be RT. So if you start from this triangle, like for example, if I label this 1 and 2, JK is from triangle 1, RS is from triangle 2. My ratio is 1 over 2, like triangle 1, triangle 2. I can't start from RT in the next one, so I know that's not true. So you have to continue doing each one of them and figure out which one is not, which one is the right one. When it comes to this kind of problem, John is 6 feet tall and standing 4 feet from a tree. If John's shadow is 12 feet, how tall is the tree? So that's what we're trying to find. So we're gonna find how tall is the tree. So I want to know, see how tall it is over the shadows, the ratio that I'm gonna create. So I'm gonna do the height of the, so tree height and the shadow of the tree. Tree shadow is the first one I'm gonna do. So the height of the tree is x, and the shadow of the tree is the whole thing. So it's gonna be 4 plus 12, which is 16. The height of the person is 6, and the shadow of the person is 12. So once you set it up, I mean, you can set it up differently, but I'll set it up this way and cross multiply and solve it. Number 12, which drawing contains a pair of similar triangles. For two triangles to be similar, you either need to know a similarity, side similarity, or side angle side similarities. Okay, so looking at the first one, if this is similar, it would be side angle side because I knew the vertical angles is going to be congruent. So I need to check if the sides are going to be proportional. So the way I will do it is I will do the smallest side from here had to be proportional. The smallest side over there, 11. Is it the same as the next one would be 24 with 12? So they both give me 1/2, right? Or 2 over 1, I'm sorry. When you simplify, you get 2 over 1. 2 over 1, and you have a vertical angle. So this is similar. For B to show that they are not similar is if this is 90, this is 40, this has to be 50, right? If this is 30, this is 60. So you only have one angle congruent. You need two angles to be congruent for you to use AA similarities. All right, next is number 13. It says the tower casts a shadow of 48. Cameron is 2 meter tall and casts a shadow of 8. So you're going to have a tower casting a 48. So this is my tower, whatever shape it is. So you have a Cameron person here who is 2 meter tall and casting 8 meter shadow. How tall is the tower? So this is what I wanted to know, right? X. So I can do height of the tower over the person equals 48 over 8. Or I can even do x over 48 equals 2 over 8. Whichever way you do it, it will work. So then cross multiply and solve it. Which postulate or theorem, if any, proves that the triangles are similar? Remember, bow tie, if the two sides are congruent, only if the two sides are given to be proportional, I can only use side angle side. But again, to make sure it's side angle side, I have to make sure the sides are going to be proportional. So 4 is the smallest side, 10 is the smallest side. So I have to do 4 over 10. Is it equal to? I don't know if it's going to be equal. 8 over 14. 8 over 14. Okay, and simplify it. By 2 is 2, by 2 is 5. So this can be a scale factor of 2 over 5. Here by 2 is 4, by 2 is 7. 4 over 7 and 2 over 5 are not similar, are not proportional, I'm sorry. That means these triangles are not similar is what I'm going to pick. Here, complete the statement below. So I have a side, an angle, a side, the same thing you have a side, an angle, and a side. That's what this is, right? So the two triangles are going to be congruent by side, angle, side. So I'm going to eliminate this, not D, A and C, because that's not side, side, side. Then you have to make sure if this one starts with P, P is congruent to what? J, right? So you have to pick the one that starts with J. Then from P they went to R. P they went to R to the smallest side, right? Then you have to do from J to L to the smallest side. So then that's the one you have to pick. All right, 16, refer to the figure. The ratio is given in order for RED and HAT to be similar by side, 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 which of the following must be true? If I wanted to do side, 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 I need to show that the sides are going to be proportional. So HT. So RE, red, red, HA. So I have to do 18 over 6, which can be simplified as by 6 is 3, by 6 is 1, equals 15 RD, right? RD, let me use a different color. RD to HT. That's my X. 15 over X, right? Then you cross multiply and you just find the answer. This is actually an easy one. Refer to the figure. So they gave you a 65 and a 60. In order to prove that RST is similar to NOM, they have to be AA similarity. So they already gave you R is 65. So R and N need to be the same, right? Then T need to be the same with what? M. So M is the one that needs to be 60. So now I have to pick M equals to 60. But they didn't give you 60. That's a good actually question. So M is, if M has to be 60 because T and M are going to be congruent. So if this is 65, this is 60, what has to be the measure of O? That's something you have to always, like this, I didn't expect it to be done. If M is not 60, don't make O 60. O is not going to be 60. So what we have to do is 60 plus 65. Then we have to subtract it from 180, which gives you 55. So O has to be 55. And that's the one you have to pick. All right, number 18, determine whether the triangles are similar. If so, complete the statement. For it to be similar, the sides have to be proportional. So I'll list my smallest, medium, largest. Small to small, which is 3.5, over 12 is the medium, right? Then my medium length is 6. Then 14 is the largest one. It has to be with 7. So it seems like they are because this is 7 divided by 3.5. It's kind of half of it, right? So this gives you 2 over 1. 2 over 1, and 2 over 1. So they are similar. Then you have to do x, y, z. So I start from x, y, z. I start from the smallest to the longest and to, I guess, to the largest. So I start from uh, P, N, M. So I have to do P, N, M, P. So P, N, M is the one you have to pick. All right, 19. Are they similar? If so, with what? If they are similar, it's going to be side, side, side. Again, do the same thing. Small with small, 6 over 8. Then medium with medium, 9 with medium is 12. Then I will do the largest one, 12 with 16. Then see if the ratio is the same. If it is, you use side, side, side. If not, then you pick not similar. And I guess 20 was at the underneath. So one way to show that two triangles are similar is to show that a side of one is congruent to the side of another. No similarity, that's not true. An angle, if one is congruent to an angle of another, two sides of one are proportional to the two sides of the other. Two angles of one are congruent to two angles. So it has to be two of the angles, not one angle. So you have to pick D for this one. The last one, in addition to the information given in addition to the information given in the drawing, which statement would be sufficient to prove that the two triangles are similar. Um, so they gave you, so A, B, C. So DE is going to be proportional to AB, right? So it's going to be 14 over 7, which is 2 over 1. That's what has to happen. So this is the smallest one. So this is 9, so this is going to be 18. This is 4, this is going to be 8. You just times them by 2. So pick whichever one is enough for you to prove that the two triangles are congruent. So it says BC over AC. That's not going to prove anything. BC over AC. The same thing's not going to prove anything. So AC need to be 18 and BC need to be uh, no, AC need to be 8 and BC need to be 18. So you guys got it. All right, that's it. I hope you guys will do well. Good luck on your test.